Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SuperCoach Edge. And just double checking, we are actually live. Yes, we are. I have a habit of touching my microphone and it's actually muting itself. So, pleasure to have you joining me as always. A little bit of a late start tonight because Carlton were playing, of course. And I do usually do a live stream post game on my other channel, which is, of course, Blue Baggers Edge, which is what I did for around about 45 minutes. So, apologies for the late start here. But hey, better late than ever, of course. We are here, of course, to chat about that match involving my team, of course, up against Brisbane, but also the match up against, or between, I should say, the Dogs and Port Adelaide, which both matches actually turned out to be a little bit of a thriller, in different senses. But yeah, it was from a Supercoach perspective, very, very nice night for VC scores. In particular, of course, referencing Zach Butters and Marcus Bontempelli there, looking really good. So, of course, as always, if you are keen to let us know what, first and foremost, what plays you had tonight in tonight's games, how you're faring thus far in the early part of only 3 games into, of course, the round, but how you're faring. And also, if you are keen to jump on for a bit of a chat, something which we've opened up a few punters out there to jump on if you are keen. And we have yet to have anyone jump on. I think we've had I think we might have had one person jump on. Might have been opening round. But if you want to jump on, I will grab the link. I'll whack it down in the chat. And you are more than welcome to jump on, have a little bit of a discussion and go from there. G'day, Lockie. Hope you're well, mates. Brought in Zach Bailey. Yeah, this is the one part of Zach Bailey. And I spoke about it. I'm pretty sure, did I speak about it in this week's SuperCoach Edge episode? I think I did because I discussed him as an option. And I don't know what it is with Zach Bailey, but there's something about him that I don't like. I don't know what it is. And maybe it's this part of his game where he kind of just goes missing in game. Very, very strange, especially against Carlton. I mean, I thought he would have been smashing it early on before Carlton actually worked their way back to the game. But it was a very strange game from him, a very, very off night. So let us get on screen the scores. Excuse me. Whew. G'day, Mike. Hope you're well, mate. He's getting a bit of hay fever already. When I'm talking a bit too much, which I was talking for 45 minutes, tends to flare up my my sinuses. I don't know what it is. Very, very strange, the setup of my head, as you can see. But in terms of my sinuses, yeah, that's a shit show. So apologies for the snuffliness and sneezing. But great to see you again, Mike. Hope you're well. Hopefully you're having a decent start to the round. People are starting to file in now, which is good. We've got 18 people joining us. I thought it might have been one of those nights where it might be a little bit low key, which is totally fine. But great for everyone to be joining us. G'day, Cliff. As always, man. Hope you're well. Absolute legend. Trader Bruin, Anderson from Collingwood, Sartis into Track, McClug, and Cummins. Pretty happy so far, but it's left me cash shy for next week. Yeah, well, let's first and foremost have a look at that game involving Clug, because he was someone that I was keen to bring into my team, but I was like, you know what? Let's just hold off a week and then get him in, because I wanted to bring in another cash cow in the form of the bus man. He was bussing. Didn't bust out a big score tonight, but that's fine. But the guys that I have in my midfield are still making money. So it was a conundrum for me. I don't know if it was for you, but it was a case of, do I upgrade a rookie or a mid-pricer who's still making money early to go for McCluggage? Or do I perhaps go for a cash cow and hope that the rookies that's still on field is going to score well enough to almost match McCluggage, but make us money? So I opted to play the long game and didn't go for McClug. He'll be in next week with Finn Callahan. So it'll be a double upgrade for me next week, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. And it'll virtually give me, I think it's primos of around about 5 or 6 primos in my midfield. So it'll boost things quite handsomely, that's for sure. But you'd be very happy, very, very happy, man, with those trade-ins, mate, because Clug, as you can see there on screen, 111. Cummins, yeah, he'll be a nice little cash cow. Petrarca, he was someone I brought in this week as well. And I know some people kept, and I've been talking about it with Jagger Smith, as you can see there, 104. I said to people that when he gets his rollback in the middle, he will be able to bust out scores because the way that he finds the footy is such a unique talent. There's no qualms over his ball winning ability. And tonight, he was played in the middle a bit more and given ample game time. Praise be the Lord, Michael Voss. You've seen the light. He busts down at 104. He was emergency on my bench, so he comes on. Now, Brad Scott, don't be a complete arsehole and bring Sartis in as a late in because that would ruin my loophole. Both in a sense of Zach Butters, who we'll speak about in the next game, being my VC, but also Jagger Smith. So don't be a complete fucker, please, for lack of a better word. But Jagger Smith, obviously held on to him, really has kickstarted his cash generation again, which I'm very, very happy with. Scrolling down the list here in terms of other scorers, Lockie Neal with a 121, Ashcroft with a 109, good old Roger Ramsden. Absolute prick of a little ass wipe he is. Going down to get a head high free kick and then Leo Rising copping a hit back, rightfully so, and then getting another freebie. Actually, no, he missed that second shot, so he can eat a dick. Roger Ramjet, a.k.a. Levi Ashcroft. Bruce Reville, 97. So actually it was a pretty good game from him visually without seeing any of the stats. So no surprise there. But look at the ruck. Anyone with Sam Draper would be very happy, 96. 34 hitouts with 13 of those to advantage. Pittner had 28 hitouts, 3 to advantage. Excuse me. Ashcroft with 89. Zorko with 86 for anyone who brought him into their team. Dunkley with an 80. Zach Bailey had big disappointment, 75. And people joining us late, I don't know if you don't own him or if you do, but it's the one thing that's keeping me back from actually bringing him into my team is I don't trust the lad. I don't trust him. Yeah, he's flighty, flaky. I don't know what it is, but it should have been a game where he mopped up and he didn't. Kitty Coleman, 74. McKenna, for anyone that brought him in, 55. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Curtin, 17. No one's going to be bringing him in. Likewise, Lincoln McCarthy, at 18. Didn't even know he was playing, in all honesty. For Carlton, working up from the bottom. Who have we got here? Nick Newman, 88, for anyone that brought him in or has brought him in recent times. Sammy Walsh, the 94. Decent game from him. I thought that was... looking at his stats, I'd probably say he's a little bit underscored. Look at his scaling. He got scaled down 14 points. What the fuck for? What, the fact that he only had 6 contested possessions? Okay. Yet Hayward had 10, had 4 more, had 7 less disposals. Oh, he kicked 3 goals too, I guess, so evens out there. But yeah, very, very strange game, I think, from Walsh. I thought that would have been scored a little bit higher. Anyway, those are the scores for the Brisbane Carlton game. Let's jump across to the Bulldogs and Port game. Zach Butters with a 130. And let us know who you have your VC on. Did you have anyone with a VC from tonight? Or did you have the VC on, say, Jackson last night? All very decent options. But how about this? Le Bont. For those people that maybe held off and bringing him into your team, I know you'd be kicking yourself, but it's probably a case of a smart play because supposedly he was going to be rested even ahead of this game. There was whispers. He's come out and smashed a 163. Now, we spoke about it on the podcast in terms of I'm the captain now. We spoke about him as a special mention because his favourable history against Port is something that needed to be mentioned. And he's done it again. 163. Wow. 163. The man is a freak. Runs around on one leg. He's missing a knee. He just gets it done. Zach Butters with the 130. He's my VC, so that will be a lock and load now. So happy that I've got that locked in early. Maybe done a list. Watkins with a 56 for anyone that still has him in their team. He'll probably, I don't know what his break even is, but he might have reset it or been around about that sort of mark. For the Dogs, Bailey Dale, 128 for anyone that brought him into their team. Bit of a risk, but he looks like he's on that hot run that he normally has every season. Sanders at the 125, a real smoky, I think, now. I think he needs to be spoken about as a potential top 6 forward, as a forward mid. Sanders, he's gone under the radar, and he's shown now that he can really score well. Richards with the 117. Fraser with the 116. He's kind of teasing us, Fraser. Are you going to take the next step or you're not? I don't know what it is. Buderick 114 on return. Anyone that still has him, I imagine not. Now, English. I don't know what's happened to English because I wasn't watching this game, obviously. I was watching my mob. Actually put in a half-decent performance. But English, did he go off injured? Or was he trying to look at his... Where's his game time? 71% game time. Interesting. Anyone in the chat, let us know what happened to English. Has he gone down with an injury or was it post-game soreness? Okay, head knock. Interesting. Concussed? Did he not come back? You'd be spewing if you held on to English. This has happened again. Norton with a 76. Selwood 74. Wow. Wowzers. He's making us money again, Selwood. Incredible. Who else do we have here? Artie Jones with a 62. The Bussin with a 50. Probably more in line with what he's going to score most weeks, but will make us money, which is good. Played 100% game time, Buslinger. He's the only player that played a full game for the Dogs. Crazy. And I think that's about it in terms of relevant players. But gee whiz. Let's have a look at the chat. Heard you with the okay, went into protocols. Got a head knock. Okay, concussion. Not good. Not good English. I wonder who the Dogs are playing next week then in that case. Is it going to be someone that capitalizes on an English-less Dogs team? Is it I think it's Carlton, actually. I think we're playing the Bulldogs next week, which doesn't really mean much because no one's going to have Pitnet in their team unless you've got him in your draft team. Let's go back to the, we've got to catch up on these questions and comments and everything else in between. G'day, Jonas. McCluggage did enough to bring in next week, but they play Geelong. Yeah, we'll bring him in regardless, I think. Then I think, do Brisbane have West Coast the week after, maybe? Mike, off to a good start. Bont, Butters, Walsh, Jagger, Sarong, and Dale. Very nice. I've got Jackson, Bont, Butters, Walsh, and Jagger. So I'm a fairly happy camper, that's for sure. Your Blues had a red hot crack tonight. Did indeed, mate. Did indeed. I spoke about it. I just did a live stream just earlier over on my Carlton channel on YouTube here called Blue Baggers Edge. Chatted about the win. And it was a very, very spirited game tonight. I was, despite not getting the win, which we were never going to win against the Lions, the fact that we came out in the second half and actually played better than the first half is a win in itself. So definitely take that. You can call him Busted. No, I'm calling him Bussin. You know, is it Gen Alpha or Gen Beta? What do you want to call it? The saying that, oh man, that's Bussin. That's Bussin. So it's I'm like an old man. I'm like a boomer now trying to say some of the cool lingo. Bussin. That is Bussin, which, man, it's awesome. So yeah. Lucky. Yeah, mate. Same as me. My forward line was in shambles. That's why I brought Zach Bailey, because same as you, I have good rookies in the mid. Yeah. I was lucky lucky in a sense that I didn't have track. So he was the kind of the one who spoke for himself, but I'm at a case now where I don't know if anyone else is in this position where with Todd Marshall not playing, I shifted him into defense and I was able to trade Todd Marshall to Buslinger, but I've now got that D6 position as a little bit of a hole that I need to fill. It just means I need to rotate someone like a Selwood or I've got Blamires there at the moment, which I'm not too, I suppose I'm kind of just so about. A lot of people have to play a rookie anyway in D6, but it just comes down to the quality of rookie. and hopefully he can, score average around about 60 to 70. I'd be happy with that. But it just kind of exposed me a little bit, being like, I need to fix my defense, because the guys that I have in the middle, I'm pretty happy with, because I've got the likes of obviously Dersma, Will Dersma. I've got Jagger Smith, like guys that are still making money and actually scoring quite well on their day. So yeah, it's trying to find that balance where I think we need to jump on these guys like Cluggage, Finn Callahan, because at this low price point, and there's no use in waiting. So I think I might just have to bite the bullet and get rid of other rookies that maybe still have a little bit of money to make yet, but get rid of them prematurely and, yeah, hold on to the likes of Dersma and Jagger. So let's go across my team just to show you what I'm talking about here. So this is my team. Fairly happy so far, as you can see there. Jagger Smith will be looped on. He's 104 with Sartis. Walsh with a 94. Bont with the 163. Butters 130. Jackson 141. So I've got a pretty good start for the round. Hopefully, knock on wood, it continues. But yeah, I think I've got, like, balance-wise, not too bad. I've got 4 primos, counting Worrell if you want to count him in defense. Lindsay is scoring well enough as a rookie, and everyone's fielding him anyway, so it kind of cancels out. And it's that D6 that kind of will differentiate everyone's teams, I think, because some may be playing Selwood, some may be playing a Blamires, a Bustlinger, whoever. Because my midfield, as you can see there, I've got Dersma, Murdoch, Jagger, who I've just used to loop this week. And then I'll probably be cycling a Cumming, Anderson, or Rechko in that M8 position. But they still have money to make. That's the thing, all of them. Like Anderson's probably, maybe after this week, he might be right for the picking. He's made 87K, which isn't quite 100K, but hopefully he can make that next or this week. But he probably will reset his break. If he scores a 55, his break even is going to be 53 next week. So, which is still achievable. And if he meets that, he'll reset his break even again. So it's a case where I need to get rid of a rookie prematurely. And it's annoying because I don't now have a mid-forward or mid-defensive DPP. So I can't be, say, trading a Lombard to, another rookie in defense. But we might go through a little bit later in terms of just an early look at rookies that we might be able to get into our team for next week that are going to be on the bubble, because it's probably time to start thinking about that. Let's continue on with the comments, because we don't want to fall too far behind. We're already 10 minutes behind in the comments, so we'll catch up. Mike, I've bought in Nas, but thinking it should be Finn. Thoughts? I do like Nas. I don't know who's going to be tagging for, if any, at Gold Coast. I'll probably try and run someone with him. But I do like Nas in terms of his break-even's 87. It's achievable. I know Finn is playing the Dons, but he's got a higher break-even, 124. So I think if it probably comes down to your structure, mate. Like if you have better rookies like me in the midfield, where if you get Finn, it means that rookie goes off field and you don't really get much of a benefit, compared to if you have Nas coming into your team and it means that you get a rookie off field. I'd be going down that route for sure. Cheesy, my man, another absolute legend supporting us. And again, as you can see, the little icon next to his name means he's an absolute legend. If you want to be a legend as well, much like Cheesy, and support the channel, support what we do here at Blue Bags Edge. I'm mixing up streams here and channels. If you want to support us here at SuperCoach Edge, you can do so by clicking the join button. It is for the price of half a coffee. Yes, half an ass. I can't talk now. I'm bussing. I'm bussing, Jonas. For the price of half a coffee over the entire month, feel free to do just that. But again, no obligation. All we ask is for anyone to like the video, subscribe. But if you want to go to the next level support, like Cheesy, 100% get around it and do just that. And you will be inducted into the Hall of Cheese Legends, the cheese board, as we like to call it. So Cheesy, so trades Asadas, Grill for McKenna, Bont. Is it worth bringing Asadas back in to take the 130? Or just chuck the C on Baz, Holmes, or Cozzy? I think Cozzy probably will score similarly. It depends as well. Like, who would you be looping on field with Sartis? Like in terms of who has the emergency on the bench in your midfield. That's something else to factor in as well. Yeah, because you got to think of that as well, obviously, outside of the captaincy side of things. Didn't Jagger have 0 CBA up until like the late third, though? He was playing as an outside. I think he was playing through the centre without actually attending stoppages. So he was kind of on the outskirts, playing across the wing, and he was getting CBAs. He was getting CBAs in the end, and it looked really good, really, really good. So the main thing was he got Tom on ground, ample Tom on ground, which was great. Sardis' first emergency. Shut up, Jonas. Don't ruin us. Clifford, Butters with the VC and would have liked to take his score, but for captaincy. But I have no loop, the bastard. Mate, that hurts. Scott ain't bringing him back in. He ain't one of the best inside mids. That's true. That's what he said. That's what he said, didn't he? Aaron, how are you, mates? Me too. To Grill and Farrow to Bailey and Burton. Was thinking Bailey could easily kick 3 or 4 against Carlton. I thought as well. I thought it was going to be a big day out from him, but wasn't to be. Random week Essendon players will get Gastro or something and Sardis. Shut up. Jonas, what are you doing, mate? Even if that's the case, he won't play. Scott doesn't like him. He sees something in him that he doesn't like, which is probably himself. He doesn't like himself. G-Bags, is it worth looping Butters' VC score or should I keep C on Pickett? Again, it depends who you would be looping off the bench. I assume you haven't got a Jagger Smith or someone that's played already that you already know the score of, that you can loop on easily. But if it doesn't make any difference, I would probably loop on Butters' VC score personally. Anything over 125, 100%. And I think it's one of those weeks for me that gives you the heebie-jeebies where it might be like Max Gawn against West Coast. Traditionally, yes. But we don't know if he's going to be, again, managed. Max Heath is still sharing the ruck with him. I expect Gawn to be getting around about 70% ruck contest compared to the previous 2 games where he's pushed forward through circumstance, with Mychek having an injury early in last week's game, but also prior to that against Richmond, Noah Bolter being an absolute dirty prick and laying his knee into the lower back of Gawn, meaning that he couldn't jump up and they played him up forward a bit more. So that was through circumstance. But again, there's just a little bit of a worry there. Pickett, there's probably less worry. I don't think anyone's going to really tag him from West Coast, but I think Butters' VC score, you lock that in every single day of the week. Excuse me. Mike, Butters VC, if I keep it over Cozzy, I've got to take Jones as 66 and bench either Cook or Rochelle. Who's Jones? Who's Jones 66? Is that Jones from Adelaide? No. Darcy Burn-Jones? It depends. You've got to write down, okay, well, how much do you think Cozzy, if Cozzy scores 130 as well, obviously it's a break even alongside Butters as VC and C. You've got to ask yourself, will Cook score 66 points or better? I think there's a chance that he could potentially score a little bit better, but maybe 10 points difference, if that. Rochelle, I don't know anymore because I don't know if he's getting CBAs or not at this stage. It's pure guesswork, but maybe. I think that's a close call. I always like to see where you've got 130 in the hand as a VC, you lock that in. But in your case there where you have to bench a better player in Cook. But I think Cook probably scores around about 66 anyway. So it's probably up to you, mate. I would say, there could be a chance there where Cozzy has a shit game. It's happened in the past. Neil against North Melbourne a couple of seasons ago. It's not always as cut and dry as we think. Gawn against Richmond, again, it was through circumstance when he copped the corky, but we're all expecting a 150 plus. Didn't happen. So, someone with a Butters score with a 130, you'd probably take that. But it's up to you. Probably down to your head-to-head matchups as well, mate. Check that out and see who your opponent has as the VCNC and kind of make a bit of an assessment there as well. Cheesy, it's not that big of a deal if he is a break-even of 1 and I can just chuck the C on Cozzy. It's not a huge deal. I don't know what you're referencing there, Cheesy. If you've actually thrown me there, mate, I have no idea what's going on. Probably because I'm like 10 minutes behind the comments. Let me just catch up. Azar also had Jackson VC all week, then switched it to Butters about 10 minutes before the Freo game. Nothing good ever happens when you change plans last minute. Yep. I've come to understand that. But end of the day, all you missed out on was 11 points difference between Butters and Jackson. So it could be worse. Like last season when I put the VC on Butters. No, sorry, I put the C on Butters. I put the C on Bont last season in the same round where Grundy went absolutely bananas and he scored like a 180 and I missed out on like 50 points difference. That's where you're kicking yourself. So got to be thankful that it's only 11 points difference between Jackson and Butters, but I totally understand you, mate. Done it all before. I reckon everyone's done it at least once. G-Bags, man, fading Bont for Holmes is possibly looking like a mistake. Hopefully Holmes gets a 120 plus. I reckon he will. He'll play in defense. Collingwood, as I spoke about in my I'm the Captain Now episode where I chat about my top 5 captaincy prospects. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out here on YouTube, but also available via audio podcast. And Holmes is a part of my top 5. I think he will score 120 plus. He'll do quite well. Playing defense, the Pies, they give up bulk points to defenders. So I reckon he does very, very well tomorrow night. But just on Bont, just quickly. What was his break even? 98. Ooh, gee whiz. Wow. So he would have made a fair chunk of coin. Fair chunk of coin, wouldn't he? He's still a bargain price point. Just remember that you're getting him for a discount that no one else is getting him for. So that's a win in itself. But yeah, you've missed out on that massive score, obviously. But yeah, got to get him in. Jonas VC Grundy will give the Cherry Smearer a whipping again. Seagorn, bloke still got tons up last 2 weeks with garbage rolls and he's playing the Eagles. Yep. That's what we're chatting about. English should suss out a real sport where the men are fully dressed up the NRL. I don't know. Is that a gag, Nap? Are you an NRL man / lady / alien and you're coming on here to try and promote NRL? I don't know. I'm so confused right now. Mr. Allen, how are you? Will Lewis, 76. Yes. He is someone to be looking at. Interesting. What's he priced at? Good old Will Lewis. Will Lewis. Interesting prospect here. 144. Oh, okay, well, he's actually gone up in price already. I didn't realize I thought he might have been on the bubble. But yeah, Will Lewis, if you've got him, you'd be very, very, very happy. Clifford, I have horrible feelings Sardis will be late in. Don't say that, Cliff. Don't put it out into the universe. Darren, just knocked off work. What's the go with Sam Cumming? Is he injured? Can you bring me up to speed? Thanks for joining us, mate. No, he's not. He's virtually, from what I can tell, he has popped his shoulder or thereabouts, something similar, and you can play through that without doing really any major damage to the shoulder itself. So the club's come out and reaffirmed that he will have surgery at some stage, but they expect him to play the rest of the season and go in for surgery post-year. So I think that, because Richmond have so many injuries already, they're probably in 2 camps here where they want to give him opportunity to play. He's fit enough to play, but if they had a full suite of, healthy players, they might have otherwise said, we'll give him a taste, then we'll put him in for surgery. There's no risk. Uze came out and said just as much that he will be playing. So, I mean, in terms of the money he make us, we only need him for around about maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe max, and he'll make us 100, 150K. So with his current scoring anyway, hopefully that continues. But yeah, no real risk. Don't stress. Bring him in. I think he's a better prospect than the other man from Richmond, the other youngster. So, yeah, I do like the man. I like the boy. Aaron, disappointed with Bailey, but forward line with Shees, Cozzy, Track and Bailey is looking good indeed. I'm the same, but I've got Flanders. Flanders is kind of very annoying now, but I'll just grin and bear it. He's highly owned. Cancels himself out in that respect because he's highly owned. But yeah, as I said earlier, I'm very intrigued by Sanders because I jumped on him last year, might have been, and He did not live up to expectations. He was being played on the bloody wing. He wasn't being played at the coalface. But now he's really flourishing. He's coming into his own. Apart from his first two games, 122.95, 92, 106, 85, and a big game tonight with a 125. So I reckon he's really putting himself up there as a potential top six, almost in the same breath as a McInerney. So I don't mind. I don't mind that man in Riley Sanders. Do I take Butters VC or roll the dice on Holmes? No, I'd be locking in 130. Nando's. Is this referencing your previous comment? No, I don't know what that is. Clifford, give the thumbs up a click. Don't cost a thing. It helps. Thank you, Clifford. You are an absolute legend among legends. Yeah, you are our not cheerleader. I mean, there are men cheerleaders out there, but if you want to be one of those, it's fine. But you are literally there. You're like, the guy on the sidelines for the teams during match day with the, minute sign. This is you with the thumbs up icon and, a subscribe button as well underneath. So thank you, Cliff. You're a legend, mate. Really do appreciate all of your support, which you give us many times over. JD, how are you, mate? Henny or club, don't worry about the price. What is... people, you guys and girls are throwing me at the moment. I'd be going for Clug, mate. Just for pure value. I think Heaney is definitely someone to be bringing in, but he's a higher price point. I always chase value this time of the year. Aaron, is there a world that Sardis comes back with 6 changes and he's still first emergency? Is it time to just cut our losses, or we keep him as a 270 loop and just pray he gets a game? Yep, the second part of that, mate. I am just keeping him as a loop at this stage. If I need to trade him out to free up cash, we'll do that in one of our last sort of downgrades. I think he will eventually get games. I don't know. Ask Cheesy. Cheesy's a massive Dons man, unfortunately, he would say, much like me saying I'm an unfortunate Carlton supporter. But yeah, he'll get a crack at some stage, you would think. And he hasn't made enough money to justify getting rid of him. So yeah, you don't want to be prematurely cutting your losses there, I think, anyway. But yeah, the fact that he does offer a bit of a loop is a bonus, I think. But it's up to you. G'day, Tiger Matty. Hopefully you're well, mate. Another absolute legend, again, who is, as you can see next to his name, he is a member of our channel, which, again, if you are keen to join us as a member, support us, support what we do. If you enjoy what we do, you can do just that. Click the join button, and it is virtually membership. Half the price of a coffee across the entire month. So it's like $3.99, which I had a coffee today. I had to go and get a lung test for my asthma because I'm that way. That's just, I'm an old man nowadays. I've had asthma all my life, but I will say it's because I'm an old man. But I got a coffee today at the cafe coming out of the clinic. It was a $5 small coffee. I was like, you could take up a membership on my channel, SuperCoach Edge, for $3.99, and you'd have $1.01 left over to go and put in your piggy bank. Craziness, the price of coffee nowadays. Tiger, my old mate Buzz would have liked the effort tonight of the Blue Boys. I had $10 on at 150 to 1 halfway through the match for the Blues to win. Wow, had a run for my money. Geez, you would have been enjoying the match. You would have been enjoying the match, mate. That's for sure. And Buzz would have absolutely enjoyed the effort. Bazustow, of course, is his old mate there that he's referring to, of course. Carlton legend and an old past player there. Yeah, it was a spirited effort, we'll call it that, for sure. And put a smile on my face that we were able to actually run out a game. It wasn't just start the game with a bit of fire and then we peter out. It was the opposite. We started slow and we came home with a wet sail. So hope you enjoyed the game, mate. That's for sure. I know I did, even though we didn't get the win. Lockie, I just complained about Bailey, but didn't tell you my trades. My trades were Jax, Sardis, and Todd Marshall to Cumming, Burton, and Zach Bailey. Bailey will be fine. I think he's going to be a top 6, surely. With the way he's scoring, he's going to have these random games where he just drops out. I don't know if the issue was he wasn't getting enough CBAs. Let's have a quick squeeze. You only had 5 CBAs in the end. Interesting. Like Jagger, by comparison, he was like the third rotating player between Hewitt, Chera, and Jagger. Cripps and Walsh had the majority of CBAs. Yeah, it was more evenly sort of spread for the lines. It was Neil, Dunkley, McCluggage with 25, 21, 20, Ashcroft with 14, Zach Bailey with 5, and then Rayner with 5. So it was kind of an afterthought. Played more up forward, which is frustrating for owners like yourself, mate, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Anabolic, thoughts on fielding Steen at F6. DC injured, potentially laid out. Ooh, very, very good call. Geelong weak matchup. That's a very, very good call, mate. I did not consider that with DC potentially being a late out. If that's the case, I think he's worthy of on-field start, mate, for sure. I really rate Steen. I rate him a fair bit. And if he's the number one ruck, who else would be chopping out the ruck for the Pies? Can't think. So, yeah, he's going to be a very, very nice option. Good pick up there, Anabolic. Love that, mate. Thanks for joining us as well. Cliff, Arthur Jones. Artie Jones, the doggies. Artie Jones, he means for the doggies, sorry. Let me go back because I've missed out on one of the comments. Have I? Oh, sorry, yeah, because I asked who the Jones was. Yep, gotcha. That's what it was. Artie Jones. Do you think Lombard is worth boosting out if it's for Cozzy? Yes, 100%. Every single day of the week, mate. People, I think, are a little bit too worried about using boosts, which is a little bit overblown. Boosts are there to, if you have an opportunity to get a big primo in your team, and even one that's underpriced, use that boost. Use it. And if it means getting in two really good cash cows, use that boost. Get that other cash cow in your team. Banking boost doesn't really do too much, in all honesty. And like I've spoken about in my team talk videos, you can, once you've used your boost, get into a bit of a trade cadence where you have one up, one down, and you still have money left over, provided your team is in a really nice spot where you have maxed out cash cows. You can still then downgrade, upgrade, and have money left over for next week's upgrade. And then the cycle repeats. So I chat about that in my team talk video. So for more on that, go and check those out. And of course, the audio podcast. I took Bont 118 VC last week, and I think I'll take Butters VC. I'll use White in the ruck and put the E on Grundy. Like that, mate. Tiger Matty, anyway, nice start for a change with Bont, Butters, Neil, and Artie Jones to get the week rolling. Very nice. We'll take Butters 130. Happy with Bont's 163. But, mate, you have a very, very ripping start to the round. You'll be just hollering and hooting. I don't know what that means, but you'll be up and about. As anything could happen to Cozzy or Gawn, yep, 100%. And like I said, Gawn put in a stinker against Richmond, despite the fact that he was averaging 140-something across a zillion games against Richmond. That's for sure. Yeah, so take Butters 130 end of day, yep. Just in case you don't know what I meant is Nando's is who will have the E. Oh, gotcha, mate. Yep. If I end up keeping Sardis to take Butters. Sorry, mate. I'm trying to address different comments and stuff, and I'm kind of losing track of what someone else has been talking about, but I get you. I get you now. Yeah, so in terms of going for locking in Butters, I would be doing just that. Yeah, worth bringing, because I like Sardis anyway as a bit of a loop, as we spoke about. If you need to trade out Sardis next week, then do it. But at least it gives you that option, and maybe next week as well, it might give you an option as a bit of a loophole that you may need. So if you trade out Sardis this week, next week you mightn't have a loop. I don't know. So I reckon, yeah, keep Sardis and take Butters score. Bont will add $28,000 this week. Wow. Crazy. Yeah, he's great value. So if you don't have him, still get on him. Get on him. The ship has not sailed there. It's still at the port. Mike, thank you for that, Clifford. Mike, cheers down on the chat. No worries. Taking Butters VC score. I am doing likewise, good sir. In fact, I haven't done it just yet. Let me pop the C on Sartis. But keep watch for Brad Scott being an absolute terrorist with regards to Supercoach and in general. Jonas Cook plays Richmond easy. Oh, yeah, he does play Richmond, doesn't he? So, very, very good point. So, yeah, maybe do you do that? I don't know, but you got to weigh things up in terms of other players. Aaron, do you think Zorko a top 6 defender from now or Dale more a priority? I don't think Dale is a priority, in all honesty. I don't trust him. People that have been past owners of Dale can speak to that. I'm one of those. I had him for his good period, traded him out when he went shit, then he came good again, then he went shit again. So that was last year. He seems to have that every single year, like season, at some stage. And I think teams let him off the chain and then they start to rein him back in. And that's when when he's made to be playing a cannibal, that's when he falls away a little bit. So let's have a look at the at current sense heading into this round. Who is averaging out of all the defenders in the top 6? Just out of interest. So we've got Sinclair with 110.9, Wilkie with 110.4. Surely that's not sustainable. Archie Roberts with the 110.3, Parker 109.4, Whitfield 106.8. I think he's going to be hands down the top 6. Nosaya, same thing, 103.3. Lockie Ash, I don't know if he's going to be because of Lockie Whitfield. If Ash is playing more in the middle now, which is kind of what he did last week, it gives full real estate to Whitfield to roam off halfback and take kick-ins. So I'm expecting Ash's average to drop. Miller, he's had a renaissance again in the past month and a bit. I don't think Josh Dacos is going to be a top 6. Worrell, question marks on him as well. Jordan Clark, again, question marks. Houston, question marks. Dane Zorko, 97.3. Yeah. The defense, outside of maybe, Whitfield, Naz, and Sinks, I reckon the other 3 spots are really up for grabs again. So they're not as definitive as maybe what we first thought. I think Archie Roberts is probably going to be a top 6. So if he comes into the 4 there, it means there's only 2 spots to go. So it makes it harder to pick with so few spots as to who's going to finish this. Let us know your thoughts as to who you think is going to be top 6 defense, but I don't know if Dale is going to be, and I don't know if Zorko is going to be. And I don't even know if Zorko is going to have the fitness base to run out the season, considering his troublesome calf muscle has already caused a bit of grief. I wager it's going to happen again at some stage. Last year, he got through unscathed, thankfully. But yeah, there's a doco out there, I think either on Stan or Amazon, that was recently put out. And it chronicles him actually going to the physio to give him acupuncture on his calf muscle every single week because it gives him grief to manage his pain levels. That was pretty crazy. Rookie, how are you, mates? I wonder how long I can go without Bond before needing a welfare check from Cheese. You got to get him in your team, Rook. Just get him in your team, mate. I mean, at the moment, he is an incredible price point. There's no excuse. I can understand when he was 600, pushing 700K, but now you got to get him in. Prioritize him next week. Jonas, Rugby League, the game where brain cells go to die. Yeah. I don't really like Cheesy. If it helps, Rook, you probably should have got him at 584 if that helps. Jeez, it's so helpful, Cheese. You are the most considerate bloke tonight to recommend that to Rook, because I'm sure he wouldn't have thought about that either. So really insightful, really insightful comment there. Daz, how are you, mate? Thanks, I'll get coming in. Who was going to bring in Cherry in next now? Was going to bring in Cherry in next now. I'm thinking, Bont, your thoughts. Who would you go with? I would go with Bont ahead of Cherry, personally. Bont's the best player in the game. Cherry, I mean, he's got Sydney this week, which I expect him to score around about 120 odd, which his average is, also his break-even's 90. He's going to stay around about this price anyway, Cherry, I think. Whereas I think with Bont, you've got to get him before he goes up in price again. Then he faces Adelaide, Probably going to be a decent matchup for him because he's facing Mick Andrew. So, yeah, I'd be getting Bont in first and foremost regardless. And then he's got Wits, Cherry. So, but that's just me. It comes down to, again, your structure. And like if Cherry's coming in to replace Mick Andrew, you could probably justify it and it'd be a good trade-in, maybe ahead of Bont. But if you have rookies and stuff as well in the midfield that you need to get off, and Bont allows you to do that, for sure. But I think Bont is a must-get. I think if you don't have him at his current price point especially. Kalani White will be a dud loop for round 16 onwards, as the fixture will give Melbourne plenty of Thursday, Friday night games. Prime-time team scoring 100 points. Is that a piss take there, Jonas? I don't think they've released the fixture yet, have they? In the latter part of the season. Mike, Rook, I thought you got regular checks anyway. Oh, yeah, with welfare checks. Getcha. Maddie, I actually love cheese. Exactly right. We all love cheese. We love the man. I don't really like cheese, but I'm a big connoisseur of cheese. There's actually a cheese factory. For those of you in Melbourne, make sure you have a chance to go to That's Amore Cheese. I think it's in Thomastown. Incredible. You can have porchetta, like it's like an Italian cheesery, but also cafe. My word, some incredible stuff there. Cheese, fresh, amazing. It's got everything. And if you're a lover of cheese, you're gonna love that. Mr. Allen, any idea how many boosts we receive next buy rounds? We don't have any more boosts than what we normally get, mate. But if you are referring to how many trades we get at our disposal, we get access to 3 trades without having to use a boost across the buy rounds. So if you have any boosts up your sleeve, you could potentially use 4 trades in a given buy round, if that makes sense. But we don't get a restocking of boosts, if that's what you're asking. That'd be great if we could, but maybe they bring that in at some stage. Geez, everyone would be boosting like crazy early days if that was the case. Mike traded Marshall, Grill, and Sarong for Burton, Nass, and Dale, losing the 22 and a boost. Very nice, mate. As you can see there, I've used my last boost. Questionable. Couldn't give a shit. I'm getting in another rookie in terms of Bustlinger, and got rid of a rookie that was just non-playing player in Todd Marshall. Gives me some extra coin in my bank, which will help me get in Clug and Finn next week. I've just got to work out, who do I trade out? Is it a Dersma? Is it a Murdoch? Yeah. Something to think about for me anyway. But you've got some really nice trades there, Mike, must admit. After a good start, Cliff, for yourself, you've got Butters, Bont, Neil, Walsh, and McClug. Geez, you are flying. Tiger Manny, go easy, Mass, about my Tigers. Anyone VC the Bont? I tip my hat to you, sirs. Yeah, we spoke about him in our top 5. I'm the captain now, but he was more of an afterthought of, he couldn't quite make the top. I was worried about his knee. But again, I had to mention him in that because of his favourable history against Port. There's just some players match up well against specific teams, and he's one of those with Port. So anyone that had the VC on him, I think a lot of people would have had the VC on Butters, like myself, which speaks for itself. I mean, there's a fair bit of risk in going for Bont as your VC. I reckon a lot of people would have done it, or those that did it for a bit of a contrarian type, going against the grain. Cheesy, there is no question marks on Geordie Clark. He's absolutely not top 6. He's rubbish, awful. I don't know where you're going with that for a second there, Cheese. Awful, garbage. I can't look at him. He's sickening. There were sliding doors for me because I could have gone for him instead of Worrell. So Worrell, don't let me down. Smashed out a massive ton against Richmond and really make me feel better about going for you instead of Clark. Here's the definition of a roller coaster in SuperCoach Clark. Jonas, another year older. Zorko is a no for me. Yep, he is a no-go zone as well. Maddie, Damo next week. I was thinking Zorko, but didn't look too flush tonight. Maybe I'll pay up a tad more for Dale, or I'd be going for Whitfield, mate. 100% ahead of Dale, ahead of Zorko. Lock him in. If, as I said earlier, if Ash gets that continued run in the midfield, it gives real estate monopoly of the defense to Whitfield. Kick-ins, everything else. So I'd be going for Whitfield every single day of the week. So thirsty. Thirsty work. Cheesy, Zork's price is just too good. and all the defenders are rubbish anyway. So he's a lock for me. Each their own. Each their own. I don't like him. His durability scares me, and I prefer to go for someone like a Witt if you haven't got him. But I assume you do, Cheesy. Matty, Zorko's an old man like me. I can hardly walk, mate. So am I. I'm excuse me. I'm 38. I think am I the same age as Dane Zorko? I think he is. He's 37. Shit, he's actually a year younger than me. Who would have thought? Would you look at Zorko and then look at me and say that I'm actually a year older? That's insane. But I feel like I'm bloody 100. I feel like I'm dust at the moment. That's for sure. So I feel you there, Matty. Here we go. The legend. Woohoo review. Always coming in late, Woohoo. Are you from Australia? From Victoria? Or are you from, say, WA, where it's a little bit earlier over on the western coast? Do you have a spreadsheet with the ideal trades every week till round 17? I don't, mate. I don't. But normally, as you can see, if I go through, which I haven't updated for a fair while, but my watch list, I, much like many other people there, have a watch list of players. So I can probably cull a lot of players now because this is dating back to like opening round. Dunkley, I'll keep watch on. He's still losing money. Cluggy is someone I'm bringing in. I've already just brought Track in, so he goes out. I've already got the Wang. Charlie Edwards, he was someone I was looking at. He's gone. Callahan, still there. Bally Smith's losing money. Maxi Holmes, I want to get. And I've just got Sam coming. So, coming there, Nate. So, yeah, that's kind of, I just use the watch list and I just take note of guys that, in terms of their break even, have they bottomed out? I just do it on the fly because it's awfully hard to try and have a spreadsheet, 8 weeks down the track or 10 weeks down the track and trying to get guys in on any given round. So I don't know about you. If you do, mate, all credit to you. And let us know how you do it because it's very, very hard to do. But, yeah, I just do it on the fly. Just keep the mind fresh. Keep it malleable and supple, as they'd say. And, yeah, hopefully some fresh ideas come into the old grey matter. Woohoo had no later loop, so went VC Dogger and feeling the fortune, mate. It is a wheel of fortune that you've gone for, and you've landed on the jackpot right there. Not the bankruptcy, the jackpot. As well as the fridge and what else have they got there? The holiday and everything else that they have on Wheel of Fortune board. Jonas, yeah, cheers. I will be stuck with Clark at D6 all year, I reckon. 38, you poor bug. I can barely remember 30. That's right, Mike. I know you were saying you're an elder statesman, which is what I always like to use when it comes to the older generation. Elder statesman. It means that you're vintage, mate. At least that's what I'll be saying when I'm a little bit older. Cheesy, I'm stuck with a plethora of idiots mass, just how the season has crumbled. There's someone in the Discord as well who didn't put their, what was it? They traded out Sarong. Who was it? I don't want to name and shame them, but I'll name them. 0XP, one of our regular supporters in the Discord, ended up trading Sarong to someone, and everyone was like, why'd you get rid of him? But I actually think he did the right thing there because Sarong's been putrid. He's had enough of a sample size to know that Sarong's not going to be a top 8 mid. So get rid of him before he loses more money. So I actually support him, and I think that it always happens the week that you trade out someone who's been underperforming, they score well. Like McKercher did that to me. It is what it is, but you got to look at the long game side of things and be like, well, he's not going to be a keeper, so who gives a shit if you trade him out and he scores well? You got to look at it in terms of the guy you're replacing him with, provided that they average more than the player you're trading out. It's justified. So, yeah, there's always that. But, yeah, it's hard because you're trying to get rookies off field and out of your team, but you're also trying to bring in the best top liners in every line. With that, I'm going to also pop in the comments a link to our Discord for those people who have not joined. Free to do so, of course. It is, for those uninitiated, it is virtually like a Twitter, an X. It's like a forum. It's like Big Footy and Twitter all merged into one. Multiple rooms where you chat about trades, captains. There's just general discussion and banter. Yeah, what else is there? Injury ward chat, any live news that comes out. Of course, you get easy links and access to the YouTube videos as they go up live. You get a notification on that in the Discord, so on and so forth. So join the Discord, free to do so, as I said, and we have a thriving community on there, around about 300 people plus So yeah, it's a great little community there. And for any Q&As, any help, geez, you just add your message in there. And if I'm not around, if Liam's not around, anyone else is around, they'll be happy to help because everyone else is a very helpful in that respect there. Anyone who comes in with any level of experience with SuperCoach, they ask a question, everyone is happy to help, which is what we've got. And as we've got here, Bojangles has joined us. Maddie, good to have you joining us, mates. I can see you've just joined the Discord. So again, check us out, join us, free to do so. Clark is out for me, allows me the cash to fulfill my evil ambitions. I like it, mate. Sounds saucy. Matty, spot on cheese. I have Jay Clark and I'd rather drink 4 litres of plain. I wouldn't be recommending that. I'm from Melbourne. Just hey, mate. Well, I can relate. I'm from Melbourne as well. So I think that maybe is just part and parcel. Cheesy, you kind of look like Zorko, Damo. And I've seen your private messages, very similar attitudes. Are you talking about like cheating on the missus and having a kid with, the said missus that you're cheating on, all that sort of stuff? I think a lot of people forget about that. I reckon Lockie Neal's done wonders for Zorko because people have forgotten about the shit that he got up to. But I don't know, like Zorko's missus that he had, she's incredible. Unless she was an absolute head case, but even still, he was a prick for doing what he did. And he's an arsehole of a bloke, just in general, on footy field. But yeah, geez. Surely not. 6-week ban? What, for being from Melbourne? Is that what you're talking about, Uze? I want to see my sheets, mate. Is that are you coming on to me there? I want to see my sheets for sure, man. If you've got sheets, send them through. Join the Discord. Whack up a link if you've got them on Google Sheets or whatever. Have a look. DM me. Be keen to see how you go about it. That's for sure. Matty, but as a season from hell, I'm stuck with Jay Clark, not Jay Clark from the Herald Sun. I hope, as I am with old mate Houston. At least at the moment, he came good. Yeah. I think it'll be up and down, both of those guys. They'll come good one week, depending on matchup, and then they'll go to shit the next. Roller coaster. Mike, locking in my back line, I have Sinks, Witts, Naz, Roberts, Dale, and Houston. Is that your own back line, or is that your predicted top 6 in terms of top 6 averaging overall? Interesting. Yeah, I'd agree on the first 4. I don't know about Dale and Houston. It seems that way, though. Like, it's going to be at least the D6 spot is going to be someone who is a roller coaster player, but who has more spike games than not. Yeah. And they'll squeeze into the top 6. Jake's pot, as it would happen. I don't know what that is referring to. There's so many jokes and things that I feel out of the loop on. I don't know what it is. Do I need to sleep? Do I need to go to bed? Maybe. I don't really like cheesy. Yeah, join the Discord where you can see me complain about Nando's and Clark weekly. It's good fun. And it's a cathartic avenue for all of us to get together and complain about shitful scores and players. And more often than not, cheesy, your coach in Brad Scott just being an absolute arsehole. So we have Andy joining us as well. So Andy, thank you for joining the Discord. Pleasure to have you joining us. You and, of course, Maddie. That's who I have. Okay. Well, that's not a bad defense, I must admit. Like, that will get you going for the rest of the season. You might need to maybe upgrade one of the last 2 in Dale or Houston, but luxury trades, I think they're pretty solid enough as it is, where you can get away with having them in your defensive line. Aaron, luggage next week. My target need to save cash after paying up for Gorn, Bont, and gee whiz. You have gone on a spending spree, mate. And I understand what you're talking about there. You need to count those pennies, count those dollary dues, and put them to good use. But there are enough of the guys, the primos, that have dropped in price now that are right for the picking. So probably a good time that you've jumped on those big dogs. But yeah, not so much Bont, obviously. But still, luggage is going to be a juicy price still. Discord, you can see gifts of Damo, and I mean Jim going to town on apple pie. That's me imagining cherry. Well, not really, but yeah, it's a warm cherry pie He's a hot cherry pie. Good old. You wouldn't be doing that to a hot cherry pie, but for anyone that, because I am conscious that American Pie, the movie, it's a movie that was in cinemas when I was younger, and I kind of forget that a lot of people wouldn't have seen American Pie. But if you haven't, check it out. It's an absolute pisser. It's a classic comedy, classic coming of age, young teens discovering their, their hormones and doing some weird shit to apple pies, to put it bluntly. Funny as shit. Uze was talking about Woohoo, asking if you want to see. Gotcha. 6-week ban. Yeah, of course. No. That's fine. Throw your sheets around, mate. Throw your sheets around. Throw a thumbs up in the Discord. It's not that hard. Punters, get on with it. Get on with Damo and get on with the rest. Like everyone in here. So you can see Cheesy's on there. You can see, I don't know if you're on there, Mike. Join us if you haven't, because you're a regular, mate. We've got, who else is there? Who did I say? Cheesy. We've got Jonas. We've got a whole host. The thing is that people join with different usernames, so I don't know who is who. So, Maddie, I know that's you because you're Maddie. But Andy, which Andy is this? Because there's a few Andrews and Andys that join our live chat for a little while. Jack's pot. Gotcha. Gee whiz. That is really good. I'll pay that. 6-week ban for a homophobic slur. Back 6. Sink, Nas, Witts, Lizard, Holmes, Roberts. Actually, yeah. Well, Holmes will get DPP defensive. What, around 12? Is that right? So 3 weeks away. Shit, that's come around pretty quick. So yeah, I think you're right there. Holmes will be. I think you might have nailed it. I don't know about Lizard. I still don't know about Lizard though. So Sinks, Nas, Whitfield. Yeah, Lizard maybe potentially. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like. That's why I like to hold out. I don't like to feel like completely at the moment anyway at this stage one specific line with full primos, because again things change. Whereas like those 3 guys, Sinclair, Wang, and Whitfield, I think they are definitive. Anyone else outside of that, it changes, like role changes, DPP additions, all that sort of stuff. So Holmesy getting DPP in defense was going to be elite because it means that we can go for obviously another outright primo in the midfield, similar to like with Connor Rosie last year. What's Max Holmes' defensive percentage status? 100%. My entire structure relies on it. DPP after round 11. Yeah, sorry. Apologies. After round 11, heading into round 12, of course, which is what you mentioned there, Uze. Yeah, so I don't know what... I know that Code Sports actually had... Let me see if I can find it. They had an article where you could have a look. There's like a little thing where you could input the player's name and it'll pop up with that percentage status of a player playing in a specific area of the ground. Let me just see if they've reactivated it. Don't know if they have. No, it was last updated 13th of April. They've got rid of the little widget thing, which was handy. Bastards. You bastards. There you go, woohoo. 34% currently. Where'd you get access to that? Have they released an article on that through Code Sports or Herald Sun? Woohoo. Or have you done the sums, done the stats yourself? Impressive, if so. Here he is, West Coast Rule. That is, no doubt, that man, Michael, WCE. Thank you for joining us, Mike. Good to see you in the Discord. Have a look around, check it out. Trade chat, everything else. Captains. There's also a little room there for Rate My Team if anyone wants to have their team rated. Oh, okay. So they actually have done an article. I must have missed it. Where the fuck is it? When did they write that article? Because all that's coming up is the 13th of April. Here we go. Yes. Here it is. Yeah, bloody drongo I am. So do they have the widget? They do. It's back. Yes. All right. I'll show you it on screen so you can see without having to have a Code Sports subscription. Yay! Where are we? Stop screen and share screen. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. That should show up on screen now. So this is a little widget here. So you can like plug in the names of specific players. So if you wanted to check out Holmes, which they've kind of got a right up there for him anyway, 34% in defense, which is good. So players need 35% game time. So he's on track. If he plays majority of time in the defense this round, he's getting right up there. That's for sure. But this is kind of what they've done here. 20% midfield for Ash, Gore 9% forward. So that's no. Murdoch's going to get forward mid DPP. So I don't know about you, but I'm kind of maybe holding off on upgrading Milan because of that, because he provides a bit of coverage across both lines during the buys. Angus Anderson as well. He's probably not going to get enough percentage to be eligible for forwards. Zach Merritt, 29% for the forwards. Tanner Brun is going to get 38% defense. Yep. But he'll probably be gone. I think actually he's gone from my team. What am I saying? He's gone this round. Jagger Smith, 36% forward, which is a joke. Hayden Young, 32% forward. Cam Zurha, anyone that has him. Colin McKercher, 38% forward. Lika Leah, 74% ruck. Interesting. Yeah, so if anyone wants any breakdown of players, let me know and I can pop it in the little widget there. I lost my bloody screen. Where is it? There it is. G'day, Josh. Got Zach Bailey in this week, RIP. I think that a few people did, mate. A few people did, unfortunately. Dossie said it in the lair. My sheets are that complicated. Let us know your sheets, mate. We don't want to get under the sheets with you, like Jim from American Pie. David, how are you, mates? Merit 29% on Code Sports. Yep, there we go. If your main focus is cash league, what is a good strategy regarding trades, filling your team, etc.? Good question, mate. Good question. If it's for cash league, I would be holding trades more often than not. So I wouldn't be trading every single week. I'd still be upgrading your team, but based upon matchup, I would be taking that into consideration. So if you're facing, a really tough team in a given week and not upgrading that week hurts you, then I would upgrade. I would kind of just have that focus more on the cash league as opposed to trying to just blindly in a sense of not paying attention to the cash league side of things, but instead of just upgrading players willy-nilly. So factor that in, but it probably more so is in terms of your VC and C. A lot of people forget about that when it comes to cash leagues and head-to-heads and stuff. So look at who your opponent has and see if you can get a leg up on them as well. Because even though projections aren't obviously the most reliable in round, keep that in mind, because if they've gone for a VC that has shit the bed, but they're going to be going for a captain that maybe matches yours and you're behind, you're probably in your best interest to go for a VC that, if you haven't used it already, go for a VC on a player who maybe has a really high upside. If they shit the bed, who cares? Then you can level it out with the same captain that they've got. But yeah, that's kind of in round strategy. But yeah, the trading side of things is holding players by and large that are keepers if they are injured or suspended. So for example, with Tristan Cherry, I held him for the 3 weeks that he was out injured for my cash leagues. Not many people did. A lot of people traded him out, but it meant that I now have him back in my team. I've saved the trade, and compared to those people that traded him out and now want to use an additional trade to get him back into their team, they were thinking they were going to get him at a cheaper price point. They're not going to, and it means that I've now got a leg up and an advantage over other teams in the league that don't own him and maybe traded him out. So it's long form thinking that you've got to really adopt for that. And yeah, just try not to be too trigger happy with trades overall. I think you still want to upgrade the team, but yeah, it's something that's a bit of a fine balance. I think you need to really strike. Woohoo! Merritt was a pipe dream for the forwards. Yep. G'day, Jager. How are you? Primo's already scoring bad this week. Doing my head in. Yeah, it depends. I mean, if you've got Zach Bailey and stuff, I totally understand. But I'm lucky enough that I don't. Could be worse. It could be worse. That's for sure. I'll just put up on screen just my team for reference. If anyone wants to check her out. Jay was ranked top 100 2 weeks ago. Now I'm 300th, and then who knows what happens this week. Yeah, it can be a very fickle game, as we know, with SuperCoach. You can be riding high 1 week, and then 2 weeks' time or consecutive weeks, you could have down weeks, and shit happens. But yeah, I think it comes down to, like, I went through a patch there where I actually wasn't gaining any ground with regards to ranks. And it was so frustrating because I was still obviously using trades, as you can see here. And I was like losing ground from 9-11 in the first RIP, in the first round, to 8-2-1-8, to then slide to 10,379, to then slide to 12-5-2-1. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, my team value is going up. I'm bringing in primos, maybe not at a really high frequency, but still improving my team, but I'm losing rank. Then I gained rank, then I lost rank, then I gained rank again, the same spot virtually as I was 2 weeks prior. And now I have gained ground and I'm back in the second best rank overall thus far. So it is a roller coaster. That's the thing. It's just it's a shitful thing. As you can see here, look at my season rank. It literally like nosedives, goes up, goes down, then goes back up again. So a bit of a W, Walter White. Team value, as you can see there, is rising, which is good. Plateaued a little bit between round 7 and 8. But that's fine. It's been quite a stark climb, which is good to see. And points-wise, as you can see, it took a dip, but there is an upwards trajectory here where my average score is increasing week on week, which is good to see. So in a good spot, but yeah, don't be too displeased with, if you lose rank, because, the sample size of like 3-4 weeks, looking at that in isolation can do your head in. But if you look at it in a longer perspective side of things, it can really help you out. Like when I was looking at things in terms of dropping from 9-11 to 12-5-2-1, I was like, fuck it. Extrapolate this out. I could be like 30,000 in like 3 or 4 weeks' time. And now you look at my rank and I'm, down to 7-2-8-3. So shit happens. It's what it is. It is what it is. You just got to keep upgrading your team and just trying what you can to get up the ranks. Woohoo! That's why I brought in statistical guaranteed winner forward Zach Bailey for his 75 just now as a Carlton supporter. Traded him via Jagger. Stoked. Oh, mate. No. Should have held on to the Jag, man. Houseman, how are you? Went the suitcase, Finn, and Cumming in the end after mulling over way too long about Bont and Burton as other options. Butters VC, which I will take. Well, you've done pretty well considering. I think Suitcase and Finn, I was both weighing up these guys, but I went a double downgrade and an upgrade with Track coming in. So I could have virtually gone for 1 down, 2 up, but yeah, I think I'll go for Suitcase and Finn next week, and that'll give another week for my rookies to go up in price because I'm very frugal. I want to get as much money as I can out of these rookies because I feel as though if I chop them prematurely, I'm going to hit a stage late in the season where I'll be regretting it and not having the money to then aim for the top shelf, as I always say, which is referring to going for the uber primos and not having to fall short of money and going for just the primos on a cusp. But you've done pretty well there with your trades there, Houseman, I would wager. And Bont, just try and get in when you can. Fellows, I'd be curious to do a poll with how many trades people have left. Let us know in the chat. How many trades do you have left? In fact, I might be able to do a little widget here via a poll. So let's do it. How many trades do you have left? And I'll have boosts as well. Trades and boosts. So how many options can we add here? Let's see. We can only add 4 options. So we'll do a bit of a range. So what's the maximum that people could have used? We won't be silly. We'll say below. I don't know. What is the maximum that you could use? If it's 2 per week plus was it 4 boosts that we had? So if it's 2 per week heading into this round, was it 16 used? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Let's just say that if you've got trades below, I don't know, 17, for example, or 18, we'll say. And this one will be something ridiculous. How many trades did we start with? Did we start with 40 trades? Is that correct? How many trades did we start with? I can't recall. I think it's how many trades have we ever done? 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 15. Or was it 35 we had? Yeah, we had 35 trades, didn't we? Start with 40 trades, 5 boosts. That's what it is. Yep. Thank you, kind sir. You need a spreadsheet. I don't need spreadsheets, mate. I don't do spreadsheets. And mate, on numbers, man, I just don't recall how many trades we've actually used because I feel like I'm a bit of a godfather in terms of using too many trades that I should have used. So 23 is the most that people could have used so far. Okay, so they've got, oh, really? Holy shit. That's crazy. So you can have 17 trades left. Alrighty. Where are we? Where's the bloody widget? We'll say I'm not even going to put an option of like 40 because that's ridiculous. So we'll say top option if you're above 30, just a bit of a wider range. And that's a bit better. All right, here we go. So I should pop up on screen hopefully now somewhere. The bottom, bottom left-hand side. So let us know. I think you just need to type out the actual, so you type 1, 2, 3, or 4 corresponding to that category, if that makes sense. And it will pre-fill. Mate, how did you think I've got a kid now? 11 months old. It's through spreading the sheets. So to vote in the little poll here, type 1, 2, 3, or 4. Don't do the dot because it won't count. Just type the number 1, 2, 3, or 4 corresponding to the number of trades you've got left. Sorry, the boost. Don't worry about that. So as you can see there, so we have one person voting. So as you've got 18 between 18 and 25 left. Cheesy, you're the same. Mike, you're the same. Uze, you're the same. 40 and 5. JCD. I don't know what JCD is. You're a funny man, Jonas. This is my first year doing SuperCoach, so I've made lots of mistakes, but I'm learning every week the hard way. Mates, that's what SuperCoach is all about. Like, I've been playing SuperCoach for over 20 years now, and I still make mistakes. But I like to always say, with every mistake comes a key learning, and it's stuff that you learn. You're learning every single season. No matter how long you've been playing the game, it's something that you adapt to and you learn new things about every single year. And as I said, I still make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but by and large, it keeps me in good stead in terms of ranking wise and everything else. And after that comes luck. You just need luck going your way, 100%. Everyone looks to have between 18 to 25 trades left. So we might do a little micro poll beyond this to see if you've got a smaller range just to sort of whittle down, just to come down. Exactly right. Yeah, if you're abs magic, aka Scott Father, you have below 17 trades. In fact, he's probably got 0. He would have found a way to use all of his trades, 100%. Yeah, I think everyone is in this boat between 18 and 25. So we might do an extra poll here. Just give me a tick, give me a quick jiffy, and we'll do another one. All right, so 18 to 25. So we'll say 25, 24. We'll have to do a range here, I think, as well. So 25, 24. All right, that should make sense. That works out a charm. Works out like a charm. So this is the new poll here. Oops, not that one. So how many trades left? This is the range here between 24, 25, 22, 23, 20 to 21, and 18 to 19. Oh, just a calming down. Checking off champion data, exactly. Criminal data, exactly right. So here we go. This is gonna separate the wheat from the chaff here, depending on how many trades you've got left. So Mike, you said you got 2. Cheesy, you've got option 3 between 20 and 21. I'm between 20 and 21 as well, so I'm 3. So I'll pop my thingo down there as well. There you go. It bumps up the geez, looks like you're in a league of your own there, I think, Mike. Jamie, I got 14 primos, so with 19 trades left. I might get 22 primos. Not sure how that stacks up. Well, normally you'd go by saying like if it's a 1 up, 1 down, you virtually halve those trades. So if half of those trades are going for downgrades, the other half are going for upgrades. So by and large, you hope that'd be the case. So you'd have, what's that, 9.5 trades virtually of upgrades. And if you've already got 14 primos, yeah, you would have 22, 23 primos by the end, if you're going by that logic. But there will be some primos that are top price that you will have to use another downgrade on. So you might have 21, 22 primos maybe, if you're lucky. What are you talking about, woohoo? Cliff, you've said between 18 and 19. So I think you're in a league of your own there, alongside Mike. So Mike's got the most between 22 and 23, and you're the only one with 18 or 19. So let us know, Cliff, have you got 18 or 19 trades between those two options there? I won't do another poll, just to make things easier, but Arbuckle has said he's got 20, 21. Yeah, majority here have got between 20 and 21, which I think everyone's kind of around about the same mark there. Now, we could do another poll working out how many primos you've got. 19 trades to get 9 more primos, GG's. Yeah, the thing is as well that you're not going to be using all those trades purely for, obviously, upgrades, because you're going to have injuries, you're going to have suspensions, all that sort of stuff. So I normally say you allocate 4 trades at least, at minimum, to long-term injuries. So if you subtract that, you've got 15 trades left, Jamie. So 7.5 of those will be downgrades, 7.5 of those will be upgrades. So you've probably got 21, maybe 22 primos at a stretch, if you don't have to use the full 4 allocated injury trades. So you need a bit of luck, I think. But interesting. Yeah, it's going to be pushing it. Yeah, exactly right. Because I did forget about injury trades. In an ideal world with no injuries, no suspensions, yeah, you'd be fine. But yeah, I have the best Primos. I have the best of the best. I know him for a long time. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. Thoughts on Bailey Dale? Yeah, I spoke about him briefly earlier, mate. So I'm not a massive fan of him because he's burnt me in the past. He always seems to have every season like runs of games where he scores well enough and then he gets found out, attracts, opposition attention, and then he kind of just peters out a little bit. But yeah, Trump thinks Macron's man wife is a primo. I'm glad you said primo there. Mike, depends who you believe is a primo. Yeah, exactly right. It comes down to probably, like if you're looking at my team, how many primos would you say I've got? Just, I'm not going to go through and say because I don't want to be biased or anything. But I'll let you know who I think, like how many players I think I've got that are primos. And I've structured my team this way deliberately. See if you can see a trend across it. So, yeah, it's up to you, like in terms of what you classify as being a primo. Yeah, anabolic, I'd say I've got about 14 or 15. Worrell's up in the air, whether or not he's a primo. You could probably say Walsh. Is he a primo? He's going to be a top liner. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. So you could probably, I would say I'd be combining Worrell and Walsh as like half primos. So maybe count them as one, but maybe neither are a primo. But I would say if we're discounting, if we're being conservative, I've got Whitfield, Wang, Sinclair. That's 3. Butters, Dacos, Bont. That's another 3. So that's 6. Jackson and Gorn. 7, 8. Sheasel, Petrarca, Pickett. 9, 10, 11. Cherry gives me 12. So if I was going to say, not Flanders, 12. But again, if I need to, I could use them as, roundabout primos. But yeah, you've got to be sensible. And again, I've got 20 trades left. 4 of those are for injury trades. It means I've got 16 trades up my sleeve. And yeah, it means I've got 1 up, 1 down. I've got 8 primos I can bring into my team. So it could be a minimum of 20 primos in my team. It could be upwards of to 20. Again, if I'm lucky with injuries and stuff. So yeah, you've got to be sensible with your trades. And I think I'm at that stage now where I've taken all the risks that I wanted to take. If you have more trades up your sleeve, you can definitely take more risks. But like with questions with regards to Dale, I don't think he's a top liner in my eyes. So I'm not going to try and get him into my team because I'd see it as a wasted trade because I'd have to trade him out at some stage. I'm more willing to take risks on rookies and cash cows because the aim and objective there is obviously to make money and they're not going to be keepers. So their scoring really doesn't matter or factor into it in terms of, if they're not on field. So, I mean, projecting forward, which is something we might discuss after this, those rookies that we should be looking at as potential downgrade options because especially over the next week or two, we've got some pretty good primos still on the horizon that we could get. Like we've got Holmes is around about the same price, but Baslinka, Bally Smith. We've got Bont obviously as well, who's just going up in price. So if you don't have him, you've got to get him in your team. There's McCluggage, there's Finn Callahan. There's a whole host of like downgraded or discounted primos that we have to get into our team because if we don't strike now, they're going to go back up in price and you're going to miss out on that value. And I think you kind of need to, that's where you get more out of your spend. No, let's go to the comments here. We've got enough time here. So Anabolic, you've said 14 to 15 I've got, which I'd be happy with. 13, maybe 14 with Worrell, which I think is probably conservative. Yep. Cheesy says 15, 13 primos and 2 pretend primos. I imagine you're talking about Flanders, and maybe a Walsh or a Worrell there. Worrell, Walsh, and Flanders. Flanders is a no, according to Woohoo. I think you have 13. Mike, I reckon you have 12 genuine and 3 maybes. Walsh fights hard enough for an M8. I think he could push for an M8. I think he's probably more within the M sort of 8 to 10 mark, which, or sort of if you're extrapolating it out to the bench, I guess, what's that, 8, 9, 10, 11? Could be M11. Cheesy Flanders is a yes for me because I don't have the luxury to trade him out. The I guess luxury with Flanders is the sense that he's so highly owned. So kind of whatever he scores doesn't really impact you in that sense. Flanders ain't that bad. CBAs and kick-ins. Yeah, I think he'll come good. Everyone is overreacting. Woohoo. Pat yourself on the back for avoiding Clark. Yeah. I was very close to getting him Woohoo. Very, very close, but I went for Worrell instead. Anabolic has been playing through an injury. There you go. Okay, didn't know that, Anabolic. Are you a Saints man, Anabolic? Just out of interest. Woohoo. I swear my back line was packed a couple of weeks ago. Packed like a bong. Jamie, my forward line will be Shees, Track, Pickett, Bailey, McInerney, and Bolton. Can't really change it now with limited trades. Yeah, that's the thing that one of the learnings that I've made across the journey, mate, is you'll notice that I kind of prioritize rookies at this stage and going for like the big cash cows. Like I traded in Will Dersma despite him going up in price already. Did similarly with, who was it? Who was the other guy I got jumped on? Farrow as well. Just taking those risks there. And I'm kind of prolonging as much as I can outside of those definitive top liners like Track, Pickett, Wanganeen and Whitfield, primarily because all the others, I mean, Cherry got into my team as well. It's a bit of a tactical play in my flex. But yeah, I've tried to prolong it as much as I can in terms of getting a better sample size and snapshot as to who's going to be a top liner in any given line. Bolton, I think, is a bit of a trap. Personally, similar lines with Dale, but worse. I think Bolton. He's burnt me in the past and burnt people last year as well when I said do not go for him. But I could see the value and attraction there. McInerney, I think he just, like I've spoken about, doesn't really have a ceiling consistently enough to maybe not be a top 6. I think he's probably pushing for a top, F8, between 6 and 8. But, it's not the worst forward line, must be said. They will be able to, punch out some nice scores for you, that's for sure. Anabolic, yes, he has been training with non-contact hat the past few weeks. Not sure what the injury is, though. Interesting. Thank you for the insight, mate. Jonas, I have Gorn, Grundy, Jackson for R1, R2, and Flex, though. That's good. Similar to me, mate. Gorn, Jackson, and you've got Grundy instead of Cherry. And I think they're pretty similar in terms of their average from here on out. As it turns out, they're both facing each other this week. It's funny, isn't it? F4 to 6, Rank, Bailey, and Murph. Yeah, that's the other thing as well that we have. Rankin, we've got Zach Bailey and Murph. So, yeah, Murph's an interesting one as well. He's consistent, but I don't know if he has the ceiling to him. But, I mean, with regards to that, I'm talking about ceilings and stuff and floors, that's something to factor in more so with cash leagues and head-to-heads and stuff, because the more consistent the player, the more likely you're going to have a consistently high score compared to your opponent and win more often than not. So that's kind of what I'm referring to there. Whereas just it's when you're talking about overall, it's just average, obviously. So yeah, top line averaging players is the one thing to look at. But interesting. I still don't know. Like just extrapolating forward to next week. If anyone has any thoughts, let me know. But with regards to my team, I'd be keen to hear your thoughts as to who you think I use as stepping stones to McCluggage and Callaghan next week. I'm thinking, even though I don't really want to get rid of him, Murdoch may have to be one of those players. And because I don't have any, it's annoying, I don't have a DPP swing between mid and defense because I'd love to trade or use Blamires as an upgrade, as a stepping stone. But I'll only be able to downgrade him to a rookie. So interesting. In a moment, we'll have a look at the rookies, and then we might start wrapping things up because we've been going for an hour and a half, ladies and gents. We've still got 40 people tuning in, so I do appreciate all your support, of course, as always. Can't wait for round 14 to grab Cherry. Yeah, he's incredible. 95 is the mark, right? 95. You're talking about in terms of being a top line forward, averaging forward. Is that what you're referencing there? Woohoo. Anabolic. Murphy Reed is not a primo. Yeah, he's probably on the cusp of being a primo, I'd say. He doesn't have the ceiling scores often enough. Still, since all the new cash gen from non-sub rooks, Rankin I like. Only primos I have out in round 12 are Sheasel and Butter's got to grab, track whatever price he is before round 13. Woohoo, who is better than Reed? Who's better as a forward if you don't already own him? I think there's too many guys you can lump into the one basket. Who are you referencing there? Woohoo? I don't know. Are you talking to me or are you talking to someone else? Yeah, let's have a look at the breakdown for forwards in terms of average. So we got Track, Sheasel, and Pickett, which they're, again, as I said earlier, definitive top 6 forwards. Shea Bolton at the moment is 104.5. He actually scored better than what I thought he did in terms of performance, so 95. Zach Bailey, next up, 103.6. Tracy, believe it or not, 99.3. McInerney's 98.9. Tookie Miller, 98.3. McInerney's a good price point, 472. Jack Ross, of all people, 97.8. Con McDonald, 93.9. Flanders is all the way down in 16th spot at the moment based on average. And Murphy Reed is 26, so he went too far off in terms of ranking. So he's only averaging 85.3. So I wouldn't say he's a definitive top liner as yet. Yeah. I would love that luxury mass of 3 Primo Rocks. Yeah, 3 Primo Rocks is good. Like, it just gives you that buffer, I think, in terms of any underperforming players. They just kind of make up the shortfall. Yeah, so F20, you were pretty conservative there. He's actually F28. F26, Murphy Reed. So, yeah. I mean, Rochelle looked good early days, and again, he's slipped by the wayside because he's lost CBAs. But now he could be back in the CBAs again. So, Rochelle's 28, F28. But I think, like I said, Rolly Sanders is getting up there. I really like him at that price point, 90.4. He could be contending. Horn Francis is 74 tonight as well. I forgot to mention his score. He's disappointing. How many CBAs did he get? Let's have a squeeze. 65%, which, yeah, he was in rotations with the regulars. Butters, Drew, Wines, and Horn Francis. So they were the main 4. So a bit of an off game from Francis. Has anyone got Horn Francis? Because he seems like a frustrating own. Murph haters. Yeah, he's a gun. He's a gun, Murph. He was in my I drafted him in my draft league. He slid to me at like pick 30 odd, and I'm like, this guy's going to be a gun. Ended up trading him for LDU, believe it or not, and a pick to rookie SuperCoach. But yeah, Murph's come on, and he's going to be absolute gun. Just quickly, the comments and questions are bloody flowing through now. Yes, he's in line for a DPP. He's around about the cusp of 35%, which is what you need, which is good to see. Where were we? I don't know what you're talking about there, Woohoo. Still, since all the new cash gen from non-sub rooks. Are you deliberately confusing me? I don't know. Anabolic Rankin, I like. Fair enough. Jonas, only primos I have out in round 12. Yep. Who is better? We spoke about that. I would love that mixture. Yep. Geez, why did it reset all the comments? So it's gone back to where it was. Apologies. Here we go. We have more cash now because of more rookies playing because they removed the sub rule. Yeah, there's an element to that. Yep, for sure. Yep, understand. Mike, cheers for another live demo. Catch you next Friday. Thanks for joining us, mate. Appreciate your company throughout the entire stream, mate. We've been going for an hour and 41 minutes, and you've been here from the start, mate. So thank you again. Really appreciate your company and your support, mate. So we'll catch you in the Discord. All the very best for the rest of the weekend. Archer. And we'll wrap things up in a moment as well, just because I have to get to bed. And my son, no doubt, will be waking up probably in about 10, 15 minutes for a bottle feed, and I've got to change him and head to bed myself. And it's a boys' day tomorrow because my wife's heading out for a bit of a chicks' day. So I'm going to be the daddy daycare. Archer, Pickett or Callahan this week? Thinking Pickett, lower break even. Yep, I'd be going for Pickett, especially against West Coast. Even a VC option if you haven't used a VC yet. Houseman with Jagger. Yep, spoke about that. He's a better pick in fantasy. Who are you referencing there? Sorry, Anabolic. So I'm just catching up on comments. She's Track, Pickett, Bailey, Horn, Francis, Rankin, ideal forward line, in my opinion. Yeah, Rankin, I'm a little bit unsure of at the moment, but if he continues getting CBAs and scoring like he has in previous seasons, then yeah. But that's the beauty of waiting to not fill out each line in full as yet, because there are guys that will put their hand up and get a decent role or decent CBAs, and they'll start scoring better than what they have been. It would be nice if Merritt gets DPP. He won't, mate, unfortunately. He won't. Let me log into Code Sports and I'll show you. We spoke about it just earlier. Apologies, I'm falling asleep behind the mic. I have to log in on a different browser. Here we go. So Merritt is what you're asking about, as 29% forward. So I need 35% forward time. So last week, as it says here, Merritt was sitting at 33%, but because Elijah Sardis has been dropped and they managed Darcy Parish, it meant Merritt played in the middle more and had 81% CBAs. So that's meant his forward percentage has dropped down below 30% again. So he needs to get it back up to 35% in order to be eligible. So if he gets bulk CBAs this round, you could probably count it out, unfortunately. Will Holmes get... Yes, he is in line for DPP. As you can see, he has 34% defensive time at the moment, which is, if he continues with more time in defense this round against Collingwood, he's going to, have a very, very big chance of being defender mid, which is great. Woohoo, love your work as always, my fellow carrier of the Carlton Crucifix. Thank you, sir. Likewise as well. Appreciate your support as always. You're a funny man. And I don't know what you're talking about half the time. You remind me so much of Jonas, aka this man right here, masturbate her. Don't be fooled. It is Jonas the GOAT. By the way, as well, woohoo, join us on Discord if you haven't. Join us. I don't know if you're on there, but you need to join us. In fact, for those people that joined us late, let me grab the link, pop it in the comments, jump on in. Free to do so. Chat logs. There's rumors chatting about trades, captains, general banter, Q&As. Everyone's very, very helpful. Great community. So jump on in. Where are we? Sorry, who are you referencing here, Anabolic? In terms of being a better pick in fantasy. I'm just intrigued. Where are we? Oh, sorry. Jonas, when are you looking to trade Cook and Pooh? I might need the money from one as soon as next week to get Callahan. Well, that's what I'm considering, Jonas. I'm thinking of the same thing. Because I need to use one of these higher price guys as a stepping stone. Cook's going to potentially reach his peak maybe next week or maybe the week after. Philippou, I am probably more inclined to trade before Cook. But even if he scores well this round, he's got Richmond in round 10 as well. but he's not scoring, reliably enough. So I don't know. It could be a coin flip. Could be a coin flip between these two because Murdoch still has money to make. Dersmer I could potentially, even though he's scoring quite well, and it's kind of a bit of a waste to get rid of him as yet because he hasn't really dipped. But he's not a primo keeper, so yeah, I think as you said, Philippou and Cook are probably the two guys. Jagger's now reset his break even. But of those guys, of those rookies that are at a higher price point, Philippou and Cook are probably that. Blamise is another one if you've still got him. Selwood's going to be pushing up towards the, what's that, 290 mark, maybe thereabouts. Break even to 37. He scored, what was it? 69. Ding, ding, dinner for two. So, yeah, he would have gone up another 12, roughly, 12K. So, he will be at 190 odd. Sorry, 290 odd, sorry. So, yeah, there's a few guys that we can trade down. Whilst we're here, let's just quickly go through and identify some guys that we might be trading down to heading into next round. So we'll sort it by lowest price, and then we'll have a look through. We'll just go back to the comments and chat. Can't believe you chased Shane Barker. Shane Barker, what I will say, is from Big Footy. He's someone on Big Footy and a really nice bloke. So he slid into my DMs and said, I'm so-and-so. I won't reveal who it is, but it is a moderator on Big Footy and a great bloke who has followed the podcast for a fair while. And he took me by surprise by saying it was him masquerading. So there you go. But yeah, let us know who you're thinking out of those two, Jonas. Getting rid of Cook or Poo. Poo the Cook. Cook the Poo. Hasn't Brad Scott been given 6 weeks as in at the buy? Your fired and starters come straight back in. Yeah. He'll be gone. See you later. Woohoo. I might be inclined to take over. I'm hard work. A hard worker or all your hard work? Mate, you could give Jonas a run for his money. I don't know. Could you? Jonas, what do you reckon? Do you reckon Woohoo Review can give you a run for your money? Or, what a plot twist, if Woohoo Review was actually Jonas under a different name, using a different browser. Geez, Jonas, you would have got me if that's you. What's your take on how to deal with the next couple of weeks before we get 3 trades around 12? Save bulk shit scorers to 1 up, 2 down. Yeah, I mean, it depends on where your team's at. So, are you looking to, get rid of cash cows that have maxed out? Are you looking to use them as stepping stones? I think I'm not really deviating from my tactic as such yet. I'm still going 1 up, 1 down after this week, and then in the because you have to kind of, from next week onwards, you kind of have to be paying a bit more attention to the buy rounds and working out if guys you want to bring into your team actually throw your buys out by the number of primos that you're missing in a given round. So, yeah, you don't want to be dipping below the best 18, obviously, but especially for head-to-head and cash leagues. But, yeah. Woohoo. I already told you my team is awesome. Is that your team name? My team is awesome. 24 primos by round 17. You trust the sheets, bro. Yeah, in the sheets. Are you a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets? Is that what it is? Freak in the sheets, lady in the streets? Maybe. Now that's the end of the poll there as well, as you can see on the left-hand side. How many trades left? So 75% have between 20 and 21, 13% have between 22 and 23, and 13% have between 18 and 19. There you go. So we're kind of all on the same page, apart from the one that has between 22 and 23 and the one that has between 18 and 19. So not much difference there. That's for sure. So we'll stop that poll. There you go. Interesting. So in terms of the guys that we could be looking at that will be on the bubble next week. Let's just scroll down. So Dirkson's still on the bubble, but he won't come in. Mitch Zato has only played the one game. Paddy Cross is going to play his third game this round. Tom Burton as well, obviously. Cody Curtin played his second game, but only a score of 17. He won't be sticking around, so I don't want to think of him. Jack Dalton didn't play for the Hawks. He's on 2 games, though. Billy Cootie, he's on the bubble already, but not scoring well enough to consider. Who else is there? Adara Joyce played his second game, 59. He might be someone to look at, 119.9K. I don't know if he sticks around. He didn't play last year, but I don't know if he was injured. If anyone knows, let us know. I've said no a fair bit. Moving down the list. Will McCabe didn't play. Bodie Ryan looked pretty good, but didn't score quite well enough, 27. But he looked really good to the eye from a footy sense. Will Brody's still on the one game. My Lord, he's in 12.2% of teams. When's he going to get a crack? Oliver Hayes-Brown, he's going to play his third game, but not scoring well enough. Will Edwards on the bubble already, playing his third game this round. Ryan Gardner not playing. Lockie Smith with a 45 as a ruck. Connor McKenna played his third game with 55. Nick Cox will be on the bubble. He's an interesting one, 134.6. Always injured, though. Not really a renowned scorer either. Geez, where's Sam Sturt? Remember, he was a rookie dynamo. Harvey Gallagher played his third game, only scored 22. Zach Banch, emergency. Xavier Taylor's not playing. I don't know if he's injured or what, Xavier Taylor, but interesting. Liam Henry's an interesting one. Scored an 88 in his first game last week against Carlton. Injury prone, but if he scores well again, might be worth paying up for, or at least cashing out a little bit of less money by downgrading a maxed out cash cow to Liam Henry. Liam O'Connell playing his second game back from injury, 173.9. Everyone's got, or most people have Sam Cumming. And I think that's about it. Jordan Boyd, he won't be playing for a long while just because Michael Voss doesn't rate him. Caulfield's going to be playing he's just played his second game, 56. He's high price to 11. Jamara with his third game coming up. Billy Wilson with his first game, I think he scored 35, but high price, 219.7. I think now it's probably a little bit too pricey, this range here. So unless they're elite scorers, but no, there's nothing really standing out. So there you go. Interesting. There's a little bit on the horizon, not really much at the same time, though, in terms of, I guess, heap of quality rookies. Billy got cooties. Classic. Kenzie's Tendies is my team. Okay, we'll check it out. One person who got to log into their team for a week. Are you talking about... Who are you referring to there? Are you talking about Billy got cooties? Did someone actually have him in their team? Where is he? Cooties. I'm annoyed as well that Andy Moniz Wakefield hasn't got a crack for the Ds. This chat form should allow graphics. Here he is. Kenzie's Tendies, you're in. You're in the Discord. There you go. Jonas, you've got some competition with another loose unit in Kenzie's Tendies. It does allow graphics though, mate. It does. It's got the GIF. Woohoo, Walshy, Sakaruni from other platforms. Okay. You can GIF, mate. So you can click on the bottom. Well, it depends if you're on the desktop or not, or if you're on your Discord app. So there you go, give some stuff. So you can add in like pics and stuff. For those people that have no idea what we're talking about, it's in the Discord. So jump on in. Got you. Just seen you there, man. Good to have you joining us. Shano, how are you, mate? Thanks for joining us. I think you're a newbie around these parts. Hard being a Port fan in the last 4 to 5 weeks. 4 losses by a combined margin of 8. Gee whiz. Hey, try being a Carlton supporter. At least you're getting wins. At least you're getting some wins. But yeah, I feel you, man. It's pretty crazy. Bonter's an absolute machine and carrying an injury, but a solid too. Yeah, Bonte's next level. He's an alien. He's from a different planet for sure. Shano, hoping your recruit Finn Callahan fires tomorrow. Yeah, let's hope. Well, probably not so much because I want to get him in my team next week. So hopefully not too crazy. But best of luck to you as well, mate. And thanks for tuning in. Appreciate your support. Pete, keen to get your thoughts on this one, mate. Would you bring Wayne Miller in this week and miss out on Cumming, or grab Cumming this week and bank the cash for next round? I think you could probably. It depends if you want to play the long game. I'm going the long game traditionally. So I have the option of going for McCluggage or Finn, but I've gone the long route in going for 2 rookies down and Petrarca coming in. So a 2 down, 1 up. So it depends on what I always play the long game. So the patient side of things. If I was in your position, again, it comes down to your team structure and how many rookies you're playing in defense, or how many guys that you know are probably subpar. So if Wanganeen Miller comes in, it's going to give you a bit of a boost, I imagine, in defense. But after this week, I don't think you can go for Cumming because he's going to be at that price point where he's too expensive. If he was lower price to start with, like the other Richmond rookie, 99K, then you could potentially wait a week, go for Wanganeen Miller and then go for that rookie, because that'd still be an achievable price point of around about 120, 130K. But I'm always of the mindset to play the longer game, go for the cash cows and rookies at this point still. But if you can strike a balance, if it means using a boost, I'd be going for both of those. I assume you're out of boosts. If not, 100% go for a boost to get Cumming and Wanganeen Miller in your team at the same time. That's what the boosts are there for. So if you have them, use them for sure. But otherwise, I would, again, it's hard to say without seeing your team and knowing your structure, but I am going for the long game. So I'm going for Cumming. And am I coming? Yes, we are coming. Miller as well. His break-even's 87. So he probably goes up in price a little bit, but is he going to have a massive game against Gold Coast? I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, he scored 70, 90, and 126. So I don't know. It's a tough one, mate. It's a tough one. But I think either option, you can't go wrong. But just remember, if you don't go for Cumming, I don't think he's worthwhile going for next week. So that's the reason why I would be going for Cumming before Wanganeen Miller. Jamie, thanks, Sam. Have a good weekend, everyone. And may the SuperCoach gods be looking over us all. Thank you as always, Jamie. Hope you're well, mate. And hopefully you have a cracking rest of the round. And thanks for joining us, mate. Always a pleasure to have you here on the stream. And jump into the Discord as well, Jamie. If you haven't already, that is the link I've whacked in the chat there. Click on that link, free to join, and it is SuperCoach chat 24/7. Free to join the community. Lastly, this might be our last comment before we sign off. Josh, thanks for joining us very late, mate. I think you are a different Josh to what was on earlier. Would you take Butters 130 VC or C on Holmes? I would say lock in the 130 every single day of the week. Holmes could get injured. He could get tagged. He could have a really off game and you'd be kicking yourself. So go for Butters, 130, lock that in. Rule of thumb, I was 125 plus. I lock in every single day unless you've got a player that is guaranteed to have a massive, massive, massive game against, good matchup, awesome form, and awesome historical form against that team that they're playing. But by and large, 125, lock it in every single day of the week, if that makes sense. So best of luck with that, Josh. Woohoo, I'm sus on coming. Have you heard of Tantra? Are you talking about that ties in with Sutra? Good old Kama Sutra. Very good. Good gags. Love it. Ladies and gents, that is it. That is us for another Friday night knockoffs. Really do appreciate all of your company. It's great fun having all of you tune in, have a bit of banter, have a bit of gags, bit of serious SuperCoach chat, bit of analysis, everything else. Josh, no worries, mates. Which player misses for a 66? Jones E in the mid then? Rechko or Anderson? Flip a coin. Could go with either. I think they're probably scoring around about the same, in all honesty. I reckon they'll probably have a chance to go around about 66. So, yeah, I think matchup-wise, they both don't have a favourable matchup, I don't think, between either team. Collingwood play Geelong and Adelaide play Richmond. So there you go. Sorry for bringing the tone, mate. Not at all. What are you talking about? You bring the tone up, mate. You bring the tone up. You bring it up from a different perspective, mate. Love it. Always good banter, good chat, good yarns. And as I said, Jonas the Goat, who you'll see in the Discord as well. Oh, here we go. Now, I see as well, this is the other reason for other people to join the Discord, is you can see some cracking analysis that other people are offering. So this is what you'll see on screen here, the Discord. These are all the rooms on the left-hand side here. So general discussion, trade chat, injury ward, captaincy chat, league invites, banter, rate my team, all that sort of stuff. And Kenzie's, Tendies, of course, the man here that we see, Ruhu Review, that is a snapshot, a tiny taste of the sheets that he has. So good to see. Are you an accountant in your spare time, Woohoo? Or do you just love some stats, love your numbers? I love that. Very, very good. Good to see. But I kind of do a spreadsheet in the back end of the year, I will admit, more so with regards to my head-to-head leagues, my cash leagues, trying to work out and get a step ahead of the rest of my opponents that I'm vying up against in, for a final spot or, a grand final spot or ultimately the flag and the top prize. So there you go. That is the Discord, as you can see there. So jump in to the Discord, free to do so. That is the link there. I've just popped in the chat. And that is it. That's all, ladies and gents. Thanks as always for tuning in. Woohoo. Almost finished the accounting degree after the Woohoo Review band. Very nice, mate. There you go. Comes into good effect and handy to have up your sleeve, that's for sure. But again, thank you as always for tuning in, ladies and gents. Appreciate all of you tuning in, including all of you. Shout outs just quickly. Woohoo Review, absolute legend. Josh was lone. Pete Ryan. We have Shano. We have, of course, Jonas Goat. Scrolling back through, Anabolic Liam. Of course, Michael, WCE, West Coast Eagle, been there from the start, who jumped off earlier. Jamie Bryant. Anyone else that we've missed? Cheesy, our longtime supporters. Adam Uze. Anyone that I have missed, I do apologize because there has been quite a number of comments come through the chat. Darren Phillips, all of you out there, you know who you are, who you've tuned in. And Cliff, appreciate every single one of you. And again, if you want to support us, all you need to do is, and all I ask is to like the video, give us a subscribe. Got to forgive me. It is 1:41 in the morning. My brain is only working at half capacity. Give us a like. Give us not a review. Give us a like. Give us a sub. And as well, if you are watching us via your mobile device, just scroll underneath the video and you'll see the like. You'll see join if you want to join as a member. There's actually a button there for hype. If you can click that, if you're watching us after the fact, I don't think you can do it if we're doing it via a live stream, but after the fact, you'll see it pop up, click the hype button. And what that does is it says to YouTube, hey, this is an awesome channel. Give them a boost, work them into your algorithm, and you actually charts us in the top 100 hyped videos in, I think it's overall, but also in different genres as well. So obviously for sports and fantasy and stuff. So if you can do that, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And if you want to go next level support, like other legends like Cliff, like Cheesy, everyone else, and of course, Maddie, another one out there as well, who joined recently. If you want to join as a member, it's literally it's the price of half a coffee across the entire month. So it's $3.99. And literally supporting what we do here. If you do enjoy what we're doing, you want to go next level support, hey, you can do that. If you don't want to, totally fine. All we say is give us a like, give us a sub, and we are happy campers at that. Thanks to you, ladies and gents, and all the very best for the rest of the round. What can we say? It's going to be a roller coaster, always is, but we're 3 games in, and hopefully at the end of it, we find ourselves climbing the ranks, winning those head-to-head matches, and overall, just happy to be here and going up with the green ticks, green arrows. So with that, ladies and gents, thank you, and we will catch you in the next one. Cheers.